All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. Well, today we had the patch notes on the global lab drop, and I wanted to read through it and give you my thoughts and opinions. If you are interested in reading it yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. It's on the global lab, so that means whatever we see here today usually comes to the live servers in about 2 weeks. So I did Google Translate this, so I'll try to make things make sense if it's not in order. But anyway, so there's not much in terms of actual balance changes this week, but it is more like quality of life and various things, except for Scholar. That's the newest class. That one's still getting tweaked. So anyway, let's see. Improvements with the Scholar. I assume this is a skill. All healing reduction effect icons, which are passive, have been improved to display in the debuff box. That's pretty important. Admittedly, I don't really have too much experience with the Scholar. You guys would watch my playthrough from the seasons. We just kind of got it to 61. I played around with it, did a little bit of awakening, and that's about it. I did do a little bit of PvP the other day, and fighting Scholars, I was learning it, or matches against it anyway, and it's a pretty interesting class. All right, so content. What came out today? Old Moon support thingies. If you obtain bronze pen accessories, will be recognized. Oh, we're talking about the Jetina pen. Okay, so I knew this was coming out a while ago. The second Jetina guaranteed pen. And apparently that's actually going to be sooner than we thought, and do some quality of life things. Through a separate UI. So basically, I have this video from a while ago of how to get Jetina's accessories and weapons. They made it easier, and it basically just shows you in the screenshot. You collect all the items, and then I think, as far as I understand, you just kind of like click the button when you have it, and then it just makes it. So I think overall it's a good change. Definitely very beginner friendly and helpful, because the way I did it a while ago, or the way we have it now, is kind of just overly complicated. So yeah, they've made it easier. It shows you what you need exactly, and we're good. I think this might be like per tier, because I don't remember using this much. I could have actually spent like 17,000 Blackstones. That could have been correct. I've done this so long ago, but anyway, yeah, very cool. So we've talked about this in the previous videos of like my gear progression stuff and how to go about doing all these Jetina things. So if you want to know my thoughts and opinions of all of that, check out some of my recent videos, and we talk about which one is good to get, which one should you get, like at whatever stage of the game you're in. I talked about the benefits and for each of them. So if you want to watch that, cool. Jetina's exclusive accessories. Okay, so this is basically showing you how to do it. You click the button and then you get the thing. It's so easy. That's very helpful, actually. I swear I just read this thing. Like, what is all of this that I swear it's like saying the same thing over and over again. I guess this is saying that you can exchange it up to 2 times. So the way it works is you can, like, when you have it at try, right? You can exchange it once at Tet and then once at Pen. That's how it worked before. Now, you can exchange it as many times as you want. Obviously, after Pen, it costs some sort of fee or materials. But before, you could exchange it twice for free, and then you could swap it infinitely, but it just costs silver or materials. And so they're reflecting that now. They're making this more complicated than it really should be. All right, so next. The weight penalty applied inside of the Magnus has been eased. What does that mean? I know you couldn't go down to well with trade items, but I guess people were using that overstacked to like do trading, which is if you're doing trading in 2023 or 2024, it's probably not worth it, but apparently I guess people have been doing that. Interesting. The time it takes to interact with the Abyssal Well and traveling to another territory has been improved. That's a huge change. As we all know, the patch notes from last week, which is, this is going to sound confusing. Okay, so last week, June 12th or January 12th, we read the Global Labs notes, and then it's coming to live servers as of next week because it's been 2 weeks. So last time we talked about how the Abyssal Magnus or Abyssal Well Magnus, you could fast travel, but you'd have to go through like 6 loading screens the way it is now. And they're changing it so you don't have to go through all the loading screens. Traveling from point A to B is now faster and like 1 cost instead of like by distance. So the fact that they're making that change and it's going faster now, that's huge. Very good. They've been doing a lot of item combining and simplification over the past like few months. So I'm glad they're making it easier for newer players, because we all know if you are a Lifeskiller, all of these crystals have been kind of annoying. And like if you are a full Lifeskiller, you're probably doing a lot of these. And that's like 100 crystals, maybe more of each type that you had to collect. And so now that they're combining it all into one, that's huge. And that's good for me because I actually bought a full stack for like 6 billion like last month. And now that they're all combining into one, I have mastery for everything. That's huge. And so I guess I should probably start buying the XP ones, because I have the mastery ones for all of them. So this is a huge change actually for Lifeskillers. There's no downside of it. It's just good. Delete some edits. Okay, so these were all these green crystals that we had in the game for like almost 8 years now. They're getting rid of the garbage crystals and then just making like more of the relevant ones in the game. So I think that's good. There's no real need to use these old ones, especially in this day and age. The only reason why you'd be using it is for various like upgrade into the higher tiers. So nowadays, like, these are just outdated crystals. I used them 7 years ago. Would you use it now? Probably not. And even new players, you probably don't even know what half of these even are. So that's good. Anyway, glad they're getting rid of old garbage in the game. And they talked about how like some of these crystals were used in the Thieves Encyclopedia, or the journals, as we all know. And so they're probably just doing some changes with it as well. So yeah, they're probably going to like refund you if you had these in your inventory. Cool. It's not a big deal. Jin Bon Wan, Hystria, Black Magic crystals. They're getting buffed for endurance. I believe endurance is either your run speed or like your stamina bar. So I guess that means you could run longer with the crystals. I don't really think people were using these crystals normally. You're not using it for the endurance. What you would be using it for is carry weight. And so yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, I'm glad it's getting buffed, but I don't think most people used it. Like, if anything, you're using it for the weight, and that's about it. And so yeah, that's cool. I actually had some of these subtle magic crystals, the dim ones, and I'm not sure. So they're increasing it from 2 to 6. So these are basically the crystals that are outdated. I think they should just get rid of these as well, because when you're looking at these before, if you're looking for XP, these crystals of vitality right here, or whichever one that gives the XP and not mastery, these are just significantly better. But I get that those are like 500 mil, whereas these crystals are like basically free. I just think that in 2024, these are just so outdated. They should just remove these dim crystals, and you know, like, people should just start spending the 500 on the other ones. But it is what it is. I guess it's like beginner to end game. It's not really a big deal to me, but if I were you, I'd just save up. Like, it's getting silver these days pretty easy, and so not a big deal. The grade of the following infinite magic crystals have been changed from blue to yellow. Oh, okay. I guess it's because they're getting rid of all the green and some of the blue crystals, that they're just changing the notable ones that are still in the game to yellow. Cool, I think. They are buffing like world boss drops. Okay, so these are all the world bosses. What are they changing? They're adding a crystal. Like, basically you would get like a certain kind of crystal. Now you can, I guess, get a different set of crystals, because I don't think you could ever get experience and skill from bosses before. I know these are in the game, but I don't think you could get them in bosses, so these are, I guess, new and added to the loot table. Cool. So I think these are from like things you would need for various quests around town. I admittedly don't remember, but now that they're changing, since these are no longer going to be used, they're changing it into like gold bars or various other materials. Very cool. They're adding a new grind spot. Ooh, this is something I wanted to talk about, actually. So yeah, as we all know, Ulukita is and probably or arguably one of the hardest or newest endgame spots in the game. You're mostly there for the Ator shoes and the new artifacts, and of course the telescope if you are an endgame player as well. So yeah, they're adding the new grind spot, which I think is very cool. But you know, there's one thing that scares me, because everyone at endgame, our gear is starting like to slow down, and like there's not much more you can get these days until they start adding new stuff to the game. So you guys know that meme where it's like, let me copy your homework but make it look different kind of thing? This is basically when I read this. So this spot in particular is supposed to be higher drop rate for the artifacts and the like 100 smaller pieces for the artifact, right? But obviously it drops everything as usual, like Dark Seekers. But this one has a higher drop rate for the artifact pieces, which I think is probably fine. Artifact pieces are mostly PvE, but it's not a big deal. And so the recommended AP and DP, like according to what they recommend, is exactly the same. So they basically said that this spot is supposed to be just, you know, for people who want the artifact specifically and not the flame. I think that's cool, but it's one of those like, but why though kind of things, you know what I mean? Maybe just increase the rate at Dark Seekers and then that wouldn't be a problem. I literally didn't hear anyone complaining about this, to be honest, but I guess it was. So in my opinion though, like I grinded mine out. Like I have 3 artifacts. I grinded them all out and I got my flame as well. You guys can watch that video. So I never really had a problem. Like if you can grind there, chances are you're doing fine. Oh yeah, so they're talking about, what is this one? Terrain has been changed because of the Dehkia stuff coming out next week. So as we all know, Dehkia Aakman and Hystria is going to be a new addition to grind spots. I'm pretty excited for that, actually. And so they're gonna like change some of the terrain around so people can actually grind in those spots. And I think someone pointed out that the Hystria one was like in the middle of the main rotation in Hystria. And as you guys know, if you've been following my adventure for over the years, I've been grinding Hystria for like almost 500 hours. I literally know every single spot in Hystria. And if it was in the middle of the rotation, that's not good. But either way, like if they're changing things, that's cool. But this one really just looks like it's for Aakman and not even Hystria. So maybe they'll change it in the future. Who knows? Requests and knowledge. Something about the fishing port proceeded as a general quest rather than a weekly. Admittedly, I have no idea. Is this the one for the one in Velia? This kind of looks familiar because I feel like I've seen it before in my years. It's like catching fish in Velia, but I actually have no idea. Water pal. Oh, this is the new place in the middle of Margoria that people went to exactly one time to do the quest line and just never went back. I don't know why they even added that spot. Like, I thought it was cool. Remember they had that event where the Baby Vel thing, and then it's like that place has been a ghost town for the next like year. So it's like, why did they add that place? It's just kind of weird, but it is what it is. It's like, it's cool, it's in the game. If you've never done it, it's cool to do once, then you're just never there again. So I think that Baby Vel should be like a weekly boss or something. Like, just make it so there people actually go there again. So yeah, apparently there's a quest that's changing there. Cool. New quest for the alpaca. That's for Shies. I thought that was an event, to be honest. I don't know. And then the issue where movement was not smooth while boarding a large ship and moving at very high speeds has been improved. That's cool. How fast is very high? You know, like, you should give a number because boats have the percent acceleration speed, and you should be like, if your boat is going past 170% on the breezy, you're going too fast and it's not good. So they should just give a number so people know what went wrong. But you know, it is what it is. It's not really a big deal. The name of the equipment part of an empty equipment slot has been added. UI changes. Cool. Fixes and changes. The cracked moon claws, which can be obtained through the treasure thing, have been modified to become the awakened moon necklace. Are those the nail things that bloody? Not really sure. Brigati Den. I don't grind there. The issue where Caprus enhancement level was not reflected when comparing the equipment with the bag and the equipment. Yeah, I sort of noticed that. I didn't really think of it as a big deal, but I guess, like, it does make sense for the two people actually who needed that. When finding your way to the abyssal well in the Ulukita, the guided path has been modified to be more natural. So this isn't officially in the live server because next week they're going to be adding a well to Ulukita, which is a huge thing. I've been grinding Tungrad Ruins for the past like 40 hours over the past like month, and yeah, I've always just wanted a well in the Ulukita area because I just need one more telescope piece and we're done there. So yeah, I'm convinced I'm gonna hit level 66 before I get this dumb telescope piece. Like, it actually feels bad. Yeah, I think that's about it. So that's all the notable things I wanted to talk about. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. There weren't any balance changes, but there were some quality of life and improvements, and there's going to be stuff added next week. So yeah, with that said, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a quick like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe as well. And I usually like making videos for beginners, returning players, and people who are just looking to get better, as well as give you my thoughts and opinions on videos like this of upcoming patch notes, because I know not everyone reads them. So yeah, with that said, if you are new to the channel, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Peace.